going to do a tutorial. That's partly because, as I mentioned, it's cold and it's hard to do sleight of hand when it is cold. It's also because earlier in the week, or actually last week, I had a fight with a ladder and I lost. So I have a sore wrist at the moment as well. So I'm giving my wrist a bit of a break from doing heavy sleight of hand work, and we're just going to do a nice simple tutorial here. So I suppose first thing I'll do is show you the performance, and there is a bit of a setup for this trick. So one moment while I set up the trick. Okay, so now the deck is set up. All I have to do is remember how the trick goes. So let's start with the person calling out stop at a random place in the deck as I run my thumb down the side to choose their card. Stop. Is that their card? I then hand them the card. It doesn't really matter if I see it, but when I perform this, I usually don't look at it until you'll see in a moment. So I get them to look at their card and put it somewhere in the middle of the deck. And if they put it there, before they push it all the way in, I say, oh, one moment please. I'm going to put it face up just so we can see where it is in the deck. Because they put the 6 in this spot, what we're going to do is choose 6 cards above where they put it, because it's a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to choose 6 cards below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll even throw the 6 on for good measure. So they chose a number, which was 6. They put their cards somewhere in the deck. We chose 6 cards above where they put it and 6 cards below where they put it. And now all we need to do is gather up all the cards and get them to determine the order of the cards. So by saying deal or switch, they determine the order. If they say deal, I deal 1 down. If they say switch, I will switch them around. You know how this works, deal or switch. Doesn't matter what they choose, it's up to them. Maybe I run through a couple of times, deal or switch. Maybe they say switch a couple of times, and then a few deals, and then a switch. And then the revelation, then I reveal that the order that they've put the cards in is actually ace to king, and the trick is done. Woo! Sorry, that was a bit long-winded, but let's crack on with the tutorial. I might bring you down to a lower, maybe over in the corner there, so we can see a bit closer. Apologies for the lighting and the framing for this, but I am working with what I've got, which is an apartment that I'm staying at. So first thing we do is we take out all of one suit. I just chose the diamonds, no particular reason. We take the king to the 8. We put them in order first, king to ace. And then we take king, queen, jack, 10, 8. And that goes on the bottom of the deck. We then take 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, ace. We just move the 6 to the top. So it actually says 6, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, ace. And that goes on the top. So our cards now look like 6, 7, and then 5 to ace, the rest of the deck, and then king to 8 on the bottom. You can use whatever force that you want to maintain that order and force the top card. I just used the thumb riffle force. You could probably use a dribble force as well, whatever you like. So once you've forced that 6 of diamonds, and we're back to our setup with 7, 5, 4, 3, 2 ace on top and king to 8 on the bottom, I get them to place it somewhere in the deck, around the middle. And before it goes all the way in, what I do is I spread to that card, lift up everything above it, and turn it upside down. So now what I'm doing, when I pick up that 6 and turn it over and put it underneath the left hand packet, all I'm doing is, if I turn these 2 cards upside down so you can see, we've got the 8 on the bottom and the 7 on the top. I'm putting the 6 between the 7 and the 8, and then closing everything up again. But of course in the performance, the 7 and the 8 are facing the right way. So 6 goes in the middle, you grab it with the top packet, flip it under the bottom packet, and then square everything up. And the justification is that you want to be able to see where they've put it clearly when you move through the deck. Then you act a little bit and say, oh, you picked a 6. So let's grab 6 cards from above where you put it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And all I've done there is grab the 6 diamonds. And I'll leave them kind of ribbon spread. And we'll grab 6 cards below where you put your 6. Now the first one, because it's a 7, and I want to get the 6 in between the 7 and the 5, I push it all the way off, and then I thumb off the others. So 3, 4, 5, 6. So these ones are kind of interleaved, and the 7 is standing on its own. I then put the cards sideways from each other, or perpendicular, just so that it's a visual marker for they did actually put the 6 where they want. And then I throw the 6 on top of the 5 and before the 7. So as long as it lands somewhere that's not on top of the 7 and somewhere that's on top of the 5, when I pick up the 7 and then the rest of the cards, it's now between the 7 and the 5 and in the right order. So all I gotta do is pick up the rest of the cards. They go on top because it's the 8 and we want to get it on top of the 7. And from there we just perform the deal or switch routine, which if you don't know, I'm sure there's a tutorial for that on YouTube. But essentially, no matter what they say, whether it's deal or switch, the order of the cards doesn't actually change. So if they say switch, you just take the top card and put it underneath the next one down, the same as if you were dealing, taking the top card and putting it underneath the next one down. So that gives them the illusion that they've chosen the cards from the spot that they picked. They chose how many cards we were going to use, 6 above and 6 below, and they've now chosen the order of the cards. So you can play this off however you want. You can say, run them through what they just did, and then say, I'm happy with the cards you chose, but I'm not real happy with the order, so let me just go ahead and rearrange them. And you can take the moment from them.
Yoink! Yoink!
But I prefer to let them have the moment and say, not only did you pick the right cards from the same suit, but you also managed to put them in the perfect ace to king order. And then of course they say, wow, how'd you do that? And you say, no, you did it. Not me, you did it. You! That's pretty much it, guys. Until the next one, cheers.